That's 30 minutes of defense. That brings us to our offensive session. 72 minutes. Um, and so every station here is going to be 10 minutes. And then we've got 2 minutes per group transition. I call this our orange or our blue and orange BP and pitcher work. Pitchers might get work on the side during this. So if you can imagine this, there's really three big stations. Okay, you're going to have six groups of players for this. So six big stations. Inside each of those is an A and B, so is two mini stations. So station one, you're going to be on defense for two stations, okay? And I'll give them the situation for the first time they're in the field. Infielders will turn all plays at one. The second time in the field and another group hits at them, they'll do all double plays for live balls in the infield. We'll get that in a minute. Group two, they will BP on the field and base run. Okay, so group one will be doing BP on the field and they'll be base running. I'll explain how that goes in a second. And group two in 2B will actually sometimes do conditioning, sometimes go ahead and get our abs knocked out. If any pitchers have any work they need to get done on their program that day, they'll knock that out then. Sometimes they'll be on the back of the cage or off to the side, and we'll turn that into a bunting station, okay, if a really focused bunting station. Station 3, A and B, is going to be our batting cages and our soft toss tee nets. So I guess station 3A or 3-1 would be in the cages, front toss, BP, and then station 2 would be T, soft toss, whatever drills we have for that day. So as you keep that in mind, we're going to go down here, and here's how I to organize it, okay? We've got two really good choices here. So we've got, if you got a lot of players, we'd be combining JV and varsity right here. We do a 6-group rotation, okay? So orange infield, orange outfield. Let's just say these guys are group one. So if you go back to the chart, they'd be on defensive first. Right here, that's what position they're playing. So they know exactly where to go. This kid is playing 3, so that's first base, 4 second base, 5 third base. This kid right here at 6 is playing shortstop. Meanwhile, I guess this would be the orange outfield, so 1B if you're looking at that chart. This kid is 7, so he's in left field. You got center field there. You got right field there. And for the fourth guy, we'll just put him in the gap, right field and center field, okay? So then this group right here is our second big group. They probably start on BP and base running. And, if that other group off bunting or conditioning, there's their positions. And then this group right here, the white outfield infield group, they would start in the cages. So when we rotated, okay, defense, these guys, after the first small rotation, these guys would stay where they are. Sometimes I might switch some outfitters up. Maybe I'll flip-flop the second baseman and shortstop, depending on who needs to get some reps in another position. That's flexible there. The BP, okay, BP, and let's just call it conditioning station. These guys would flip-flop, okay? And then this group that started on in the cages and our soft toss, our swing work drills, they would flip-flop. So, T and soft toss, they would go to the cages. Cages go T and soft toss. After that, again, 20 minutes now has passed, 2 10-minute stations. We would do a big flip-flop where all of orange guys would go to blue, blue would go to white, white would come up to orange, so white would now be on defense right here, and then we'd start the whole thing over again. We go through that 3 times, so really it'd be 66 minutes, but I'll go ahead and tell you the transition usually takes more than 2 minutes, so I call it 72, 73 minutes, somewhere in there, and you should be able to knock it out if you got a guy that can throw BP. So the other option is you can make that into a 4-group rotation, just an orange and a blue group. In that case, I'd probably knock out the cages. Okay, I'd probably just focus on situational BP on the field and base running and defense if you don't have that many players. So here's the rounds that we take on the field. Okay, so this right here is the rounds of BP that these guys are going to get. Okay, so Need to restart numbering there. All right. First, the first guy that hits is going to start with a runner on first base. He is going to sack the runner up to second base, just one time. Okay. In between, okay, while he runs up, so the runner on second base catches his breath, go ahead and gets his lead for the next pitch, but that pitch is off. He'll get one swing. Okay. The next pitch, third pitch into this round, we will drag bunt the runner to third base, and the base runner is running 100% effort. That's the only speed that we know. They're getting a good read. Hey, if the guy pops it up, we expect that guy game-like situation, game-like read to get back. If it's a great bunt, he is off and running. We do not slow down. We're going to run a hard 90 everywhere, live secondary, and get there. And then once he gets on third, we're going to give the guy a swing, and then we're going to suicide or push squeeze him into home. Okay, we're going to do that for all of our hitters. The second round, restart that numbering. Second round works the same way. We're going to get a hit and run to second base. Again, the guy on first base, he's working on a great steal jump. He's looking in. He's doing his hit and run fundamentals. Hey, if the guy hits a fly ball, he better get back. If he hits a base hit or a ground ball that we can go first and third on, we're not going to send him to third, but he better take 100% I'm going to third turn on the bag. Okay? The next thing we're going to do from second base is we're going to hit behind the runner. Hey, it's nobody out. We're going to move him swinging the bat, situational hitting. We're trying to hit a ground ball, line drive, backside, right side of the field, and we're going to hopefully get that guy to third base swinging the bat. The last round, infield is going to be in, and we will physically play our infield, that defense up there in, so the hitter and the base runner can get a really good idea of what an infield in looks like. Hey, we want to have these guys drive or run in on third base. Well, they need to see an infield in front of them, and the runner needs to see an infield in so they can have a live reaction, not just have the coach say, okay, infield's in, ghost men are out there, invisible guys. That doesn't play as well as live guys. That's why I like this style of practice. Okay. Round 3, we call this our 2-out round. Okay. If you can score runs with 2 outs, you're usually going to win those games. All right, you've got that team. They've got you. They're back against the wall, and you come out fighting and scrap 1 or 2 more runs out with 2 outs. Those teams usually go on to win that baseball game. So again, runner on first. Hey, it's 2 outs. You're the only runner on first base. Hey, crack of the bat, we're off. We're really looking, contact, get a good jump, understand the situation. Not be, frozen on 2-out contact. That great jump might get you to third base. Okay. Then we're going to go from second base, 2-out RBIs. We want our hitters to pride themselves. And hey, there's a guy on second base. I got to get a hit. Not I've got to put the ball in play. Not I've got to choke and poke with 2 strikes. I got to barrel the ball. I've got to get a base hit. It's the only way that I'm going to score that run. We want him to be able to man up and get that done. And we do the same thing. We put the hitter on third base. Hey, runner on third base, there's a great catcher back there. We're not scoring on a pass ball. You've got to step up. You've got to drive this guy in. You've got to get a hit. We let the hitter see infield back. We let the runner see infield back. Now the same base runner has now been on third. He's seen an infield in defense, and he's seen an infield back defense. So we've gone through practice. Every kid in our program has seen that situation that day. Rounds 4 through 6, I got to be honest, usually doesn't happen. We usually run out of time. But if so, we usually shut down base running, and we'll give them no bunts, and we'll just give them sets of 2 or 3 of just swinging the bat and drive them in. Okay? So that right there is the basic foundation of a practice. This is a long practice. It's about a 3-hour practice, usually early in the year, first 2-3 weeks of the season. When we really get going in the season, we will scale back. We don't have 3-hour practices all spring long. I think I just wear the guys out mentally and physically. But we would take aspects from this practice and we'd use all year long. We may show up and only do the orange and blue white BP that day. We may show up and we may scale back defense. We may scale back the defensive drills and focus more reps that day, and then modify, BP to not base running, just basic situation, hit the ball where it's pitched, BP on the field. So there's all kinds of different ways you can variate it for your time, for your equipment, for your facility, for your skill level. But I hope this helped. I plan on putting out several more things over the next week or so, maybe to help your practice be a little bit better this summer. I know we're all on limited time this summer. We've got a lot of development to do with these players in a short amount of time before school starts, and then we obviously get into the fall and the all season. And next spring will be here for you know it. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I look forward to putting something else out soon.